Welcome everyone to the Weekly Wrap. I'm Sean, your host, and we've been away for a few weeks. So, there's some news topics to hit, and two big movies that came out this holiday season. So let's get into it. So, this holiday season, we had Black Friday. And what is the big sought-after game console for the holiday season? The Nintendo Switch. No surprise there. It's one of the #1 selling consoles this year. But PS4 also came in second, saying that they had the best year to date. So, I don't think the PS4 is going anywhere anytime soon. And the Switch, I think it's going to stick around for a while. Also, some big news. This Wednesday, we received the Avengers Infinity War trailer. And I must say, this trailer was packed. We had so much stuff going on. I can't even fathom how long or how epic this movie is going to be. There's obviously going to be quite a few deaths, as many Marvel contracts are up with this movie and the fourth movie, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to have a link down in the description below if you would like to check out that trailer. I don't think it's too spoiler filled. Honestly, I think this trailer did just enough to entice everybody. And I wish Marvel, Disney, hear me out. Don't do any other trailer. You've got us hooked. You've done it. We've seen all your movies. I've got all of your movies right here. I'm a huge fan. Anybody else that's a huge fan is going to see this movie. Do little teaser clips. Do posters. Don't give us a spoiler trailer. Please, Russo brothers, if you can hear me, just don't pull a Batman v Superman and ruin it. Also coming up soon, we have the Game Awards. Supposedly we're going to be hearing a lot about some new games that are going to be coming out, as well as seeing what games top this year's best list. Honestly, I definitely think Horizon Zero Dawn has a chance at taking best game of the year, but Zelda Breath of the Wild could receive that award. So hang tight, because first week of December is when this is happening. We also get the PlayStation experience the first week of December, so we might get some new news about some already in development PlayStation games, as well as maybe some new titles. So lots happening in the gaming community this first week of December. So hold on to your butts. Okay, so now we're going to go into our movie review. Now, this week we are not doing a fully reviewed episode. Honestly, there's two movies that I want to talk about, and they're probably going to be two of the top movies this weekend. There's not much coming out this weekend for obvious reasons. We just got off of the holiday season, and nobody goes to the movies really. So they're probably going to top the list again. But that is Disney Pixar's Coco and Warner Brothers' Justice League. So we're going to start off with Coco and go right into Justice League and some of my thoughts about these films. So, Coco came out on the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, and I took my fiance and my daughter to see it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this movie immensely. Not gonna lie, I teared up at the end of this movie. It really hits the family feels, talks about the togetherness of family and how much family is important. That nothing else in this world matters if you forget your family. It resonates with a lot of people. There was honestly a lot of parents who had tears in their eyes, as well as kids. It's a fun movie for everybody, and I definitely recommend it if you want a family-friendly holiday movie this year. Now, there's a lot of backlash behind this movie because, well, it's not what you think. It is not race involved at all. It's because of the Disney Pixar short that they had in front of this movie. Normally, all Pixar films have about a 5-minute short, and everybody enjoys it. We got it with Finding Dory. We had Piper, this little bitty bird frolicking in the sand, learning how to dig up little oysters and such. But this year, Disney decided to throw on Olaf, a Frozen adventure. Now, I understand there's a lot of Frozen hype. We've got Frozen 2 coming out in 2019. Disney, it's a 25-minute short. That's not a short. That's a Disney Channel Christmas special. That's what this should have been. It was a 25-minute adventure of Olaf trying to help Anna and Elsa find traditions. No one cares. If you wanted to do this because people like Olaf, you should have done it on Disney Channel. You should have had a little bitty thing on there as a Frozen Christmas special. Make it an hour-long episode. It would have sold. People would have watched it, such as that. Give us a tease of that. Do a short of what's to come. And then say, tune in on Disney Channel December 25th for Olaf, a Frozen Adventure Christmas special. That would have been the way to do this. But instead they had a 25-minute short. And you didn't know it was coming. You see the Disney castle pop up. You see Steamboat Willie doing his little dance and whistle. And then we go right into Frozen with no title. No title whatsoever. Many people were getting up and walking out of the theater going, hey, I paid to see Coco, not Frozen. What's this? And then movie theater management has to explain to him, it's a short. I'm sorry. It'll be over soon. People are having to apologize and they're getting upset because of Frozen. Disney, I'm sorry, but you failed at this point. Needless to say, you finally get into Coco. It's beautiful. The landscaping, the architecture, everything that they've done. I watched a little behind the scenes footage of it recently where there are tens of thousands of lights in this city representing all of the leaves and the lights on the city. Someone had to place those lights, create those lights. It's incredible. So Pixar did it once again, and I highly recommend this movie. Now, some people may say, well, the movie's surrounded about the Day of the Dead. Why didn't it come out in October? Well, to that I would say, in Mexico it did. It came out in Mexico on the Day of the Dead because this movie is all about that culture. It makes sense for people of that culture to want to see it on the Day of the Dead. But in America, most people want a family-friendly movie for the holidays. They want to be able to go out with their families after Thanksgiving, after shopping. It was a good marketing tactic for them to release it at Thanksgiving, because otherwise, by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, you're going to still see, you might see a little bump in your attendance for it, but it's not going to do as well. Releasing it that holiday season was the best part for Disney and Pixar because there was a mad rush to see it. So I necessarily wouldn't get upset with that. Some people say, well, maybe they put Frozen on there to make it more of a holiday themed thing and get people to come see it. I don't necessarily agree that that's why it was placed at Thanksgiving is because of the Frozen short, but I do think that Frozen was put on there to get a wider audience. I don't think it was necessary. It kind of makes me feel like Disney maybe didn't trust that the short would, or that the film Coco would do that well. But guys, trust them. They've only let us down once. Oh, poor good dinosaur. But anyway, let's get into Justice League. Now, I wanted to have a Thanksgiving holiday special where I reviewed Justice League for you, but as we all know, the holidays get kind of hectic and I lost track of time. So I apologize for that. But Justice League came out and it has a lot of mixed reviews. Many people are saying they enjoyed it. A lot of people are saying they hated it. But what does that mean for the film overall? Well, personally, I went in hoping for something better than Batman v Superman. Now, a lot of people hate Batman v Superman, but I don't hate it. I don't think it was good. So don't start pitchforking me now. It wasn't a good movie. It was a fun movie. There was some good elements in there. Obviously, lots of story and plot hole issues. But overall, I think that Batman v Superman kind of nailed the characters, except for Lex Luthor, but side table that. But anyway, I definitely think that Justice League expanded on that. If you're using Batman v Superman as your foundation for the Justice League, it didn't really have a solid foundation. So building your walls with Justice League, yeah, it sags a little bit. But I do think that they have a solid foundation to build upon now. I know that that's not a good thing to necessarily say or to build upon, is we released 2 okay movies, so let's build a good movie now. It'll get there. I have faith in Warner Brothers slightly. Just get rid of Snyder. Nothing against Snyder. Snyder, you're a fantastic director of photography. Storytelling, I just don't think is necessarily your strong point. Now, I don't think this whole thing was honestly Snyder's fault. We also had some family tragedy for Snyder, and he had to step down, and Joss Whedon took over. Many fans are wondering, what was Snyder? Some people think that some of the jokes were more Whedon than Snyder. I definitely think that that's possible, but I don't think we're ever going to know. Also, it's kind of Warner Brothers' fault for some of the plot holes in Justice League. Warner Brothers heard the backlash about Batman v Superman. It's long, it's boring, we didn't need this much fill in here. So what does Warner Brothers do? They decide people don't like long movies. Alright, whatever you write, whatever you film, you're cutting it down to 2 hours. Yeah, that's gonna make a good movie. No, you're assembling the team for the first time. This movie should have been 2.5 hours, and you should have hooked us. There were many plot points where it was like, oh no, how are we gonna get out of this? Next day. What? Did they take a commercial break? Did I miss this? Was this an episode of Justice League? And you just address that in like a talk later on? No? Okay. What? Now, yeah, the story's kind of all over the place. There's plot points that kind of fall to the wayside. Steppenwolf, the bad guy, he gets defeated, in my opinion, quite easily. I think that the Parademons were a bigger fight than Steppenwolf, and it just doesn't make sense. They have a flashback towards the beginning of the movie telling who Steppenwolf is, and we see that it took all of the humans, all the Amazons. We even see some Green Lanterns in there. We see the gods. I'm pretty sure Hercules was there. We see Atlanteans. We see all of these large groups of people fighting and barely defeating Steppenwolf. Yet the Justice League takes him down like it's nothing. Doomsday was a bigger fight, and that was a bad movie. All I'm saying is, take your time. Write a solid movie. Give us a good bad guy, and that's that. You want to kill your bad guy off? Fine. But make him at least a bad guy versus just some guy going, I'm going to rule. Goodbye. Okay. Now, there's a lot of speculation about some characters returning in this movie, and I'm not going to spoil that for you here in this, but I definitely appreciate how and why they do some of what they do in this movie. The characters, honestly, favorite part. I went in kind of nervous about Cyborg, not a huge fan of his look, even still, but they kind of address that towards the end of the movie. Hey, maybe he can get an upgrade and get the classic Cyborg armor that he has in the animated series. I loved it, and I think that Cyborg was one of the stronger characters. I do think he's maybe slightly overpowered, but we'll see. Batman, he was fun. Little weak towards the end. The opening, like first 5 minutes of him on the rooftop, classic straight out of the animated series. I loved it. And I think there's a lot of potential with Ben Affleck if he sticks around. Ben, listen, you are loved as Batman, man. We just need a good movie with you. Give us a good movie with you, and you are going to hear that praise that you have been longing for since. But anyway, Wonder Woman, she was fun again. Slightly annoyed with her, because I do think that she's way overpowered. She didn't have these in the animated show growing up, and honestly, I haven't read the Wonder Woman comics. I know that they address that in the comics, in today's comics, but she stops a machine gun. No, not by grabbing the machine gun, by blocking every bullet with her wrists. No, she can take on Steppenwolf by himself if that's the case. She can beat Superman all day long. Like, no. So, definitely think that Wonder Woman's a bit overpowered. Flash was a whole lot of fun. Ezra Miller nailed the character. I was really excited to see what they could do with this version of the Flash, but also nervous because I really love Grant Gustin on the CW's Flash TV show. And so I think that they got a nice takeaways from Grant Gustin's Flash, the comics, and some of their own style. Aquaman also was one of my favorite parts. I think you nailed it. I enjoyed every second of Arthur Curry, the Aquaman. But yeah, all the characters were a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see where the Justice League will go from here. Next up, we have a bunch of solo movies. Aquaman, Flash, supposedly Batman. Whedon's working on a Batgirl movie. So it's clear to see they're going to stick around for a while. But the Flash is planning on doing Flashpoint, which is possibly going to change the entire timeline. Maybe get rid of some people, replace some people. We will see. So definitely looking forward to that. But let's talk about the post-credit scene. There was two. The one I can't talk about because it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's pretty much right after the movie, and it's a funny little nod to a lot of Flash. Yeah, a lot of Flash instances. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was pretty great. But there's one at the very end of the movie. That's right. Warner Brothers finally put a post-credit scene. But what does it mean? What is it? Well, we see what looks like, I believe it's Arkham Asylum. Lex Luthor's locked up. But it's not Lex. Lex has somehow escaped. Next, we come to a yacht, and we see a boat with some kind of armored guy on the boat. We see him slowly step off. We see orange and black. For you comic book fans, you know who it is. Slade Wilson. Yes, that's right. Deathstroke. Deathstroke steps onto this yacht, and who is he meeting but Lex Luthor, who doesn't seem as crazy as he was in Batman v Superman. So maybe they're going to get him right this time. And they decide they need to form their own league. That's right. We get a hint that the Legion of Doom is coming. I think that's going to be great, seeing some of the heroes' arch enemies all collectively come together to take on the Justice League. That would be so awesome. It would be great if we get like Black Mantis, Reverse Flash, Deathstroke, Lex Luthor. Don't know who they're going to do for a Wonder Woman villain, but hey, it could be a lot of fun. So definitely think that it's something that we should all look forward to. Now, I know these reviews were pretty condensed. Should you see these movies? Yes. Definitely recommend it. I think you should definitely go see Coco, especially if you need a family-friendly movie. As for Justice League, if you're a comic book fan and you enjoy the DC universe, I definitely think you should consider seeing watching Justice League. But keep your expectations low. Think of all of the good parts of Batman v Superman and hope that Justice League is at that point. I know, it's not a big push to go see it. Most of you have Movie Pass. If you don't know what Movie Pass is, look it up because it's worth it. But take your Movie Pass, your free movie, and go see Justice League. Just do it. Give it a shot. Go in with your expectations low, and I guarantee you're probably going to be surprised at how much better it is. So go see it. Okay, so we are approaching the end of the year, and I mentioned in our previous episode that the plans for pretty much December were probably set, and I definitely think that's true. I believe that our next episode is probably going to be geared towards Horizon Zero Dawn. I'll do a fully reviewed episode, as well as cover some news topics in a separate episode. So we'll go back to the 2 episodes with a fully reviewed Horizon Zero Dawn. We'll cover a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn, as well as news topics in a separate video. I believe that's probably going to come out next week, but we'll see. Life happens. Also, we're going to have a Christmas special, and that's probably going to be our review of Star Wars The Last Jedi. Might try to squeeze in another episode or 2 this December, but those are for sure 2 episodes you have to look forward to over the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. Now, as we get ready to wrap up season 2 of the weekly wrap, I want to let you know some of the things that are going to be happening. We are planning on hopefully having a new opening sequence. I'm working on that. We'll see if we have it for you. But season 2 will end at the end of December. We might take about a month off in January to get some things in order and get ready for Oscar season. So look forward to that. But to stay up to date on everything the weekly wrap, you can like us on our Facebook page, our Instagram, our Twitter. But most importantly, if you want to get notifications of our episodes every week, you gotta subscribe. So I want to thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't subscribed to the weekly wrap, you can click this circular channel icon here. If you want to see any of our videos from season 1 and 2, we're going to have a link to those in the description below, or you can check out season 2 from the beginning with this video playlist here.